We come now to step 6, which is time apportionment. In this particular question, it is a big, big challenge. It says in point number 7, Vardeen's profit is subject to seasonal variation. Now, that's one of the hardest, most challenging points the examiner has ever set in consolidations. So all I can say is be careful. Be very careful. It's easy, just be a little bit careful. Now, obviously, if you have a year where the profit is 100 million, but in the first half of the year, it is 20 million. In the second half of the year, it must be 80 million. So if they give you the running total of the reserves at the end of the year, and you take away 100 million, you can go back to the start of the year and then add in the 20, and that's your date of acquisition. So you can see that's quite a tough point. So I'll show you how that works. The retained earnings, by the way, for the associate called Vardeen is said to be 240. Please be careful of that. And here's my attempt at explaining this. I hope you like it. The consolidation adjustments continued. Point number 7, the time apportionment where you have seasonal variation. Tough little point. So what I'm saying is, at the start of the year, it must be 140, because at the end of the year, it's 240. So it's 240 at the end of the year. For the year, it must be 100. What is the question says that? Because it's 100, this is therefore 140. So the examiner gives us a 240, and he tells us for the year it's 100. So I'm working backwards and saying to myself, at the start of the year, it must be 140. And of course, from the start of the year till the midpoint, this is the date of acquisition. If that is 20, here it must be 160. So the post-acquisition, of course, is not so important, but the pre-acquisition is absolutely vital. So great care must be exercised when doing time apportionment, especially where on the rare occasion there is seasonal variation. Please be careful. Do a timeline like I showed you if you think it helps, but don't waste time if you can do it quicker by using a bit of common sense. So what I think I ought to do is just take you back and have another look at this diagram. So what I'm saying is, if at the start of the year it is 140, let's say this is the start of the year, some end of the year, if it's 140 there, how do I know it's 140? The question tells me that at the end of the year it's 240, and for the year it's 100. So it's 240 at the end of the year, and to which 100 has been added this year. If you roll back to the start of the year, it must have been 140. And the examiner then says, for the first half of the year, it's 20. So if I take 140 and add 20, it's 160. That's it. Some people like to take the end of the year, 240, and take away 80. And so you come to 160 anyway. So whichever way you want to do it, either do it in your head. There's nothing more powerful than your brain, of course, in the exam. And you must be really switched on. That's how I got through my exams, I can tell you. Even though I was a little bit nervous, I felt that my brain could get me through, even though I felt a little bit bad of not having done quite enough questions. But, I did what I could. I was only a part-time student. I tried my best. But in the exam, I was certainly completely and utterly switched on, trying to concentrate to get every single mark I could out of the question. So I used all the common sense skills I could. Yes, marks that are given for using common sense. Claimed all of those. So I hope you will as well. So that's your step 6.